We're the second largest OTA in the country. I'm hoping everyone has heard of us as a brand, which is Yatra.com. While Yatra Online is the more formal name, Yatra.com is the brand under which we operate. We provide customers online ticket booking, hotels, holidays, bus, rail, car, whatever you name it. We provide those services. We serve customers through multiple channels. We have the online side, which is the most popular of the lot. We've got retail stores, so we have 27 fulfillment centers. We have a B2B platform, which about 14,000 odd travel agents across the country use. And we also have a large call center, which is manned by about 700 odd people. The key thing about the internet in India today is that it's a very large market. It's no longer just a niche segment that, some kids in some corner are working on. It is as mainstream as anything else. Whether that number is 100 million according to some studies or 150, beyond a point is irrelevant. So it's a large market which is likely to double by 2015. I think that's the key takeaway. The second key takeaway out here is that mobile internet at some point in time in the middle of 2012 exceeded fixed line internet. And that, when you look at from a country's evolution and the opportunity evolution, is tremendous. So for a country which has about an 8% to 10% penetration of internet, we've now had mobile takeover on the fixed line in a very short span of time. Physical infrastructure is a challenge and is likely to remain a challenge in the near term. If this be the case, as a consumer, you and I will always find it easier to transact online or on a mobile device. I think this opportunity is best illustrated by what's happened in the case of the Indian Railways. The Indian Railways website is servicing 250,000 transactions a day. That makes it, outside of Japan, the single largest e-commerce site if you just look at pure number of transactions. That is the opportunity. Entrepreneurship is a state of mind. You either have it or you don't. If you have it, you will have it in whichever shape or form you exist. So whether you're working in a large corporation, whether you're working in a startup environment, if you have that state of mind, you will always work on those lines. So you have to be prepared that if you're looking at starting up something, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be willing to invest time and effort in doing this. That be an entrepreneur only if you like the smell of risk every day in the morning. The one thing which will remain constant in an entrepreneur's journey will be risk. So you have to be willing to be comfortable with an environment in which there is tremendous amount of risk. The nature of the risk will change, but the risk itself will be there. So there will be a new risk, a new set of challenges as the business evolves and scales up, but the risk will very much be there. So you have to have that appetite of risk every day. I think you need to make sure that the business itself is filling a gap that exists, or is trying to improve upon a service that already exists. Make sure that it's adding value to the customer, it's filling a gap that exists, or is improving upon what already exists in the market. And I think the case of Facebook and MySpace is an excellent illustration of that. And that, I think, is a big challenge. You have to go with an open mindset to put a team together that has complementary skills, because this is not a good team. You need to make sure that the people you have are bringing complementary skills to the table, something that will add to what you have. It just shouldn't be more of the same. Because in a startup environment, you will realize that there isn't really a well-charted out path. You can't look back and say, or look at someone else and say, that's the way they've done it, we're just going to follow that track. More often than not, it's going to be a case of constant innovation, constant evolution. You will take some wrong steps. But during that process, you need to have a team which is able to debate all of these issues. It's good to have a certain degree of conflict, challenge each other, but come up with innovative ideas. You need to have investors who believe in the business. A good investor and a good board member can make or break an organization. So you need to make sure that you've got investors who believe in you, who believe in the opportunity, and are there with you for the long run. They need to help you define goals. They need to help you keep things in check, make sure there's a good corporate governance structure in place. But most of all, they need to believe in you and the opportunity, and are there for the long run. If you have short-term investors, if you don't invest enough time and effort in making sure you find the right partner, it's going to lead to a very early divorce. Top management must actively participate in terms of setting up processes, because it's essential to move to the next level. I cannot, impress upon this point but this is crucial for you to have. And you need to make sure that all stakeholders are working towards a common goal, and this is part of the same cultural alignment. It's very important that as you transition, people realize the importance of what you're trying to do. Internet businesses offer immense opportunity. You need to have a robust business plan, competent team, and you have to ensure through effective leadership that you have a transition, a smooth transition that happens from being a startup to an institution. One day when we were going through these jungle walks, we saw a lion about maybe 50, 100 meters further up from us in the grass. And we were all very scared of that lion. And we were telling our guide who was with us that, hey, listen, there's a lion up there. And his point to me and to the rest of the 4 or 5 of us who were walking was, don't worry about the lion that you can see. Worry about the lion that you can't. And I think that point in that moment has always been, ingrained in me. And I think in the internet environment, that's what's happening. There are so many lions that you can't see at the moment that you constantly need to be on your toes. You can't just afford to sit back and say, I've built a business out and it'll take me forward from here on. We've seen that happen to MySpace. So if there is one takeaway I want you to leave with, it is this. Thank you so much.